Welcome to our lecture on assisted reproductive technologies, a profound intersection of human biology and advanced medicine. For millions of couples facing severe infertility, natural conception can feel like an insurmountable wall. Today, we will explore how modern science bypasses these biological barriers, offering hope and a tangible pathway to parenthood. Let us dive in. To understand how these technologies work, imagine trying to plant a seed in a garden where the soil is too hard or a physical wall blocks the seed from taking root. Instead of giving up, a dedicated gardener might sprout that seed in a small, safe pot indoors, planting it back outside only when it is strong enough. This is exactly what assisted reproductive technologies, or ART, do for human reproduction. When natural conception is blocked by physical or biological barriers, doctors step in as the gardeners. They help the sperm and egg meet in a safe, controlled environment, giving life a fighting chance. Now that we understand the basic philosophy of ART, let us look at the specific medical procedures involved. By definition, ART refers to treatments where both eggs and sperm are handled outside the human body. The most common and foundational technique is in vitro fertilization, widely known as IVF, where fertilization occurs in a laboratory dish before the embryo is transferred to the uterus. There are also specialized variations like gamete intrafallopian transfer and zygote intrafallopian transfer. These are designed to overcome specific hurdles by placing gametes or zygotes directly into the fallopian tubes. To maximize success, these procedures can even utilize donor cells or previously frozen embryos. While overcoming infertility is the primary goal, the applications of these procedures extend much further. ART is not just about helping sperm meet egg. It is a powerful tool for genetic medicine. For parents carrying severe hereditary diseases, ART allows for genetic screening of embryos, ensuring their child does not inherit a debilitating condition. Furthermore, techniques like sperm banking and embryo freezing offer vital fertility preservation. This is especially critical for cancer patients who are about to undergo harsh treatments like chemotherapy that might destroy their reproductive cells. ART has truly transformed what was once a biological dead end into a manageable medical condition. Understanding the medical applications brings us to a very practical reality of ART, the success rates. When patients undergo these treatments, they rarely succeed 100% of the time on their very first try. Human reproduction is incredibly complex, and success depends heavily on factors like maternal age and specific medical histories. Because a single attempt might fail, doctors often recommend planning for multiple independent IVF cycles. To help patients understand their chances over these multiple attempts, doctors use a mathematical model called cumulative probability. This helps manage expectations and provides a realistic picture of their journey. This practical need for multiple cycles leads us directly to our first mathematical model. The formula for the cumulative probability of pregnancy is Pn equals 1 minus the quantity 1 minus p raised to the power of n. Let us break down these symbols. Pn represents the cumulative probability of achieving a pregnancy after a certain number of cycles. The variable p is the probability of success for a single individual IVF cycle, expressed as a decimal. Finally, n represents the total number of cycles attempted. Conceptually, if the single cycle success rate p increases, your cumulative probability grows much faster. Conversely, simply increasing n, the number of attempts, also drives your overall chance of success upward. Now that we have our formula, Let us see this with a concrete example. A couple is starting IVF, and their doctor informs them that their chance of success for a single cycle is 30%. They want to know their overall chances if they commit to 3 complete cycles. We are given P equals 0.30 and N equals 3. We plug these into our cumulative probability formula. First, we subtract 0.30 from 1, giving us 0.70 inside the parentheses. We then raise 0.70 to the third power, which equals 0.343. Subtracting this from 1 gives a final answer of 0.657. Physically, this means they have a 65.7% chance of achieving pregnancy over 3 cycles. Having successfully used this formula, let us understand where it comes from, conceptually. Why do we subtract things from 1 twice? In probability, it is often easier to calculate the chance of total failure than the chance of at least one success. If P is the chance of success in one cycle, then 1 minus P is the chance that a single cycle will fail. Because each IVF cycle is an independent event, the standard rule of probability tells us to multiply independent failure rates together. So, to find the probability that all n cycles fail consecutively, we multiply 1 minus P by itself n times. This gives us the expression 1 minus P raised to the power of n. This brings us to the final step of our derivation. We know that in any scenario, the sum of all possible outcomes must equal exactly 100%, or 1. A patient will either experience total failure across all cycles, or they will achieve at least one successful pregnancy. Therefore, the cumulative probability of success, Pn, plus the probability of total failure must equal 1. We substitute our total failure expression, 1 minus P to the power of n, into this equation. By simply rearranging the terms to solve for Pn, we arrive at our final formula. This proves why persistence significantly improves the odds of ART success over time. Now that we understand the overarching probabilities of IVF, let us zoom into the laboratory to look at a specific advanced technique. When dealing with severe male factor infertility, simply placing sperm and eggs in a dish might not be enough. In these cases, clinics use intracytoplasmic sperm injection, known as ICSI. In this procedure, an embryologist uses a microscopic needle to directly inject a single sperm into a retrieved egg. This completely bypasses the need for the sperm to naturally swim to and penetrate the egg. However, not every injected egg will successfully fertilize. Therefore, embryologists must carefully evaluate the success of this forced fertilization to understand how well the gametes are interacting. To evaluate this laboratory success, we use a specific metric. The formula for the fertilization rate is R equals F divided by M multiplied by 100. Let us define these variables. R represents the fertilization rate as a percentage. The variable F represents the number of successfully fertilized eggs, which have now become zygotes. The variable M represents the number of mature eggs that were actually subjected to the ICSI procedure. We multiply by 100 at the end simply to convert the decimal fraction into a readable percentage. If the number of fertilized eggs, F, increases, the fertilization rate goes up, indicating a highly successful laboratory procedure. Let us apply this formula to a real clinical scenario. A clinic retrieves 15 eggs from a patient, but only 12 are mature enough for injection. After the ICSI procedure, 9 of these eggs successfully fertilize. We are asked to find the fertilization rate. It is crucial here that we only use the mature eggs, so M equals 12. We specifically exclude the 3 immature eggs because including them would artificially lower the rate and give an inaccurate picture of the ICSI success. We are given F equals 9. Plugging these into our formula, we divide 9 by 12, which simplifies to 0.75. Multiplying by 100 gives a final answer of 75. This means 75% of the mature eggs fertilized, indicating the procedure effectively overcame the male infertility factor. Before we conclude, let us visualize this entire journey. On screen is a schematic detailing the 4 major steps of the IVF and ICSI process. On the far left, step 1 shows egg retrieval, where a needle carefully extracts follicles from the ovary. Moving to step 2, in the center, we see fertilization. Notice the 2 different pathways. Standard IVF at the top, where sperm and egg mix naturally in a petri dish, and ICSI at the bottom, where a microscopic needle directly injects a single sperm into the oocyte. In step 3, the successfully fertilized egg develops into a multi-celled cleavage stage embryo. Finally, in step 4 on the right, a catheter safely transfers this developing embryo directly into the uterus, completing the medical intervention. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us review our key takeaways. First, assisted reproductive technologies provide biological solutions to complex infertility issues by handling gametes outside the body, bypassing natural barriers. Second, we learned through the cumulative probability model that persistence is key. Undergoing multiple independent cycles significantly improves the overall chances of achieving a pregnancy. Third, advanced techniques like ICSI allow embryologists to overcome severe male infertility by directly forcing fertilization. You have now explored the full scope of this topic, understanding both the biological procedures and the mathematics that guide them. ART truly represents a triumph of modern medicine, fulfilling the deep human desire to create a family.